She thought she could do it. She thought she could fight them off by herself, the demons, the monsters that lived in her head. She knew it would be hard. She knew it would drain all her energy, but she still wanted to try. Maybe because trying was the last thing she had. Fighting the moth and winning might have been the beginning of her meaning. Maybe she would have found strength inside her little fragile self, or maybe she would lose the battle. Cold and empty she would become. But no matter how much things could go wrong, it could only mean things could go better. So she tried. Nothing ever bothered her that much than the voices screaming her name in the middle of the night. It would wake her up and she could hardly fall back asleep. Those voices, the screams, the names it would mention, it all seemed so real, fresh and new. When she first noticed this void, she was young, too young for her to understand. But she knew it wasn't right. It all started out slowly and subtly. She stopped dreaming, just a blank sleep. She stopped wishing she could climb up the tallest tower and scream her love out to the world. Everything just stopped. And then it started. The nightmares, the flashbacks, the sleepless nights with her eyes wide open staring at the ceiling because she was too numb to feel. The emptiness, the unknown anger, the panic attacks, the loss of breath. The sun would fall and she would cave in with the creatures living in her head. The night didn't make her feel safe anymore. The stars, the moon, they all faded from her thoughts and became unnoticed. After that, nothing but pain and regret and blame for herself. It would no longer be when the sun went down and the moon came out. The creatures lived with her now. They lived in the deepest parts of her brain, slowly taking over tiny pieces of joy she had left. When it started to hit her in the middle of the day, she no longer smiled. She became unseen. The twisted stomach, dizzy feeling, and crowded mind would show up at noon when the sun was far up in the sky, and she would no longer love the feeling of warmth it gave her when the beams of light hit her pale skin. She was cold as a stormy winter night. The creatures took over completely. Someone would call out her name only to find out she could not hear them because her ears became the mouths of the creatures. Her only thoughts were consumed by negativity. They would shout. Not only did they start shouting, but they would scream to the top of their lungs. This made her soul shake and her skin crawl. She wanted them to leave. She no longer wanted to hear them speaking of words that would make her cringe from head to toe. She wanted peace. She wanted quiet. How could she make them leave? How could she make them understand that the home they now lived in wasn't their own? It was hers. She asked them, pleaded them to go, to vanish, but they wouldn't listen. One night she woke up because they screamed again. She was too tired for this. Her battle was almost over. She went to bed that night with no sign of hope left. When she woke up that morning, she was drained. It had been too long since her smile had meaning, too long since she felt love in her cold stone heart. She took matters into hand. She went to talk. She took days at concentrating on her full selfishness that was very much needed. She put her health above anything. Little by little, she finally started believing in something. She believed she was strong. The creatures didn't like that word. They preferred weak. Step by step, she tried and tried to make the creatures shut up, tried to make them leave, and tried to smile, which slowly made the creatures scared of losing touch with their new home. Slowly but surely, she got her home back. Piece by piece. She never stopped trying. Since that day, she started believing. And that is the story of the young girl who tried. Some battles can be confusing, but please, friend, never stop trying.